Hey folks, Brian Blessing in Las Vegas. Thrilled to be with you here at VegasInsider.com and really excited about this video and the video that's coming every Monday. What we're going to do, look ahead to next week's NFL lines, and we're going to look and say, here's where the opener is, here's where we think the money's going to come from, where the game and the number will move, where it will close, because a lot of times it's not just who you bet, it's when you bet them. So we think we can really do that, get you the best of the number most of the year. Before we look at week one lines, which have been up since May, got to tell you that there are caveats and unknowns as we get this season started. For starters, the Jags, the Chiefs, 16,000 fans at their games, everybody else empty. Now, third down conversions. I think the visiting team's going to have a field day. Crowd's not on their feet going bananas. I think the adjustments that normally are in place by week 1 to week 2, sometimes week 3 in the NFL, that's about it. This may take a month. The odds makers will continually have to adjust how football's played without fans in the stands. I think more points are going to be scored specifically by the visiting teams. And it's something we're going to have to really keep close tabs on. Now, as for this week, when these numbers were up in May, start with Thursday night. The Chiefs are at home hosting the Texans, the banner-raising ceremony. Looking at KC open 10.5, down to 9.5. Total, though, from 56.5 down to 54. I think that might be the bottom out there. Maybe it comes back up a little bit. But obviously the weaponry with Mahomes and Watson, and these guys can make plays with their feet, albeit Hopkins not with the Texans anymore. But an interesting game to start the season. Then we get to life after Tom Brady with New England, 6.5 down to 6 against Miami. Division game in the AFC East. Total on the game is 43. Who knows? I mean, really, let's watch the Patriots and see what we think they're going to be. Miami, give them credit at the end of last year. They could have been awful. They played hard. Maybe they're heading the right direction. Let's go to Cleveland and Baltimore. 8.5, Ravens favored, down to 8. Totals 48.5. Honestly, this is a number that looks a little on the light side to me. Now, there's no preseason games where Harbaugh always wanted to win the preseason games, and then they stepped on people's neck in the opener. The one thing I know, Harbaugh camp, things go well early in the year. Cleveland, a lot of question marks. Stop reading your press clippings. The one thing we do know, the Ravens usually come out of the gate lightning fast, and they've got a loaded team. Let's go to another AFC East game, the Jets and the Bills. Jets usually play the Bills tough. This was the opener last year, although it was at the Meadowlands. Jets were up. Bills came back, won in the second half. This Bills team has a real opportunity, I believe, to win the AFC East. 6.5, we're looking at 5.5 up to 6.5. And I do think 7's in play here. The total's in the 39-40 range. And I'd look for the upgrade with Stephon Diggs. The Bills' defense is just stout. But I think Josh Allen is sick and tired of hearing from everybody. He's the Achilles heel holding the Bills back. I think Allen has a big game. But I think that number could get to 7. Vegas cross-country travel, 2.5 minus 20. Total 47.5 at Carolina. McCaffrey will do everything he can. Gruden, we'll see if he's got him going the right way. They've got some lightning-fast guys, wide receivers. The 2.5, the minus 20 is telling you you're going to see 3s here, and the Raiders are a public team. Seattle's 1.5 at Atlanta. Total on the game is 49. This has I think, kind of track meetish written all over it. Wilson make plays with his feet. Ryan's much better at home than he is on the road. Indoor track meet. I kind of like the game to go over the total, to be honest with you. But that 1.5 number's in that dead zone, so it could pinball back and forth. Philly's laying 6 at Washington. Totals 43. Washington's a dumpster fire. This may get close to 7. If 7s appear, they'll probably come away. But if anything, it probably goes up. The Bears in Detroit. Detroit was 1.5. It's up to 3. Seems like it's locked on the key number now. Total on the game is 44.5. Don't lose sight of the fact the Lions came out of the gate really, really quickly last year before injuries really decimated them. Here's an interesting one. Indy, good football team. Frank Reich, Phillip Rivers. I'm not a Rivers guy, but I think it's going to work in Indianapolis. But they're laying 7.5. It opened 8.5. It's down to 7.5. Honestly, I think the pros might come in here and bring this thing back down to 7. I think you're going to get a take here. Marone's got one foot in the grave, the other on a banana peel. The Jags did have a good draft. Again, so many questions without having seen preseason with these teams. Green Bay, Minnesota, it opened 3.5. Vikings are solid 3-point favorites. The total 47 has come down to 46. The crazy thing about the Packers and the Vikings, it could be a 10-9 game or it could be 42-39. So kind of a squirrely number, but I look for that game to lock down on 3. Chargers, 3.5-point favorites at Cincinnati. The total was 46. It's down to 44. It may come down even more. Tyrod Taylor can do a lot of good things, but he's looking over his shoulder, waiting for the kid quarterback to take over, just like what happened to him in Cleveland. Bengals, let's see what they've got to offer. I think Burrow's going to have a really nice career. How that situation all unfolds out of the gate, a lot remains to be seen. But I'm on board with that move to the under. Let's go to Arizona, San Francisco. Niners opened 8, down to 7. 45 was the opener. Total's up to 47.5. I see that total going up. I can see that total getting up to 48, 48.5. These two teams, Murray makes plays with his feet. Garoppolo's got a lot of weapons. Kittle's healthy again. These two teams play a fun brand of football when they get together. Usually division foes, you think they know each other and punch each other in the mouth. I think these two teams go up and down the field. And then here we go. Tampa Bay and New Orleans. New Orleans opens 4.5. It's down to 3.5. Total's 49.5. Really, Tom Brady's there. Okay, good things are going to happen. But there should be a transition period, wouldn't you think? And I know Arians and the Bucs, they've upgraded everything. But New Orleans is built in place. And the Saints might be saying, we're sick of hearing this. It's our division. Could it get to 3? Maybe. I wouldn't agree with it, but it's possible. And then Sunday night, Dallas, high profile, open 3, down to 2.5. I'm on board with this. The total's from 50 up to 52. The Rams' play calling is what drove me nuts last year. Gurley's gone. But if Goff protects the football, they abandon the run all the time. I think smarter play calling, the Rams are still a good football team. And then the Monday doubleheader, Pittsburgh 3.5. It's up to 4.5. Total in the game is 48. I can see that number coming back down to 4. Again, the Steelers could be interesting if Roethlisberger can stay upright. And then the get-out game is Tennessee and Denver. And can Tennessee carry the momentum of what they did at the end of last year right into this year with Henry? Tannehill got paid. We're looking at Tennessee on the road. They're catching 1.5 here. Denver opened 3, and it's down to 1.5 because people remember what happened with Tennessee last year. But don't lose sight of the fact Drew Lock has won 4 of the 5 games he started. Denver drafted for speed on the outside on offense, skill positions, knowing they got to keep up with the Chiefs. So, again, we're trying to get you ahead of the number. And, these are numbers that have been up for a long time. There will be some movement this week. But for next week, week 2, we get the first look at them. These numbers are going to move. They move significantly. It's a different era where, it's been about 4 years now. It used to be based on a result, a game, the opener be a point different. If a team gets blown out, all of a sudden you look at the game the next week, and the number's 2.5, 3 points different than what it was hung a couple of weeks ago. So very important for us to get ahead of the number, get you ahead of the number, get you the best of the number. And we're going to try to do that for you all season long right here at VegasInsider.com.